speakers, perhaps I'd like to ask a few questions that came in during the talk and also before the talk. And one that came in before the talk is for Captain Subra. I'll make it anonymous. Okay, so I'm a warehouse operator in PKFZ for the last 10 years. So you can find out who they are. We've been trying to secure clients to use PKFZ as a regional hub since then. And as a RMK operator, we lost many opportunities due to certain issues. And the question is, can we have real free zone without permit requirements for temporary storage and transshipment for any type of cargo? Are you okay to answer that? Or shall I repeat that question again, Captain Subra?
No, Mark, I think I got that.
Yeah.
Okay, in the interest of time, I'll just say that a free zone is technically not really free in all respects. There are restrictions. We are governed by national laws, especially on dealing with certain goods, which I would just classify them as mainly environmentally sensitive for security reasons, as well as for health reasons. So many countries do restrict cargoes that are handled within the free zone, and Malaysia does a similar control, where we have a list of 74 goods that still require some sort of permission to be granted before those goods can be handled within the free zone. One of them is definitely the RMK. I mentioned you mentioned RMK. Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
The person was asking RMK. Yeah.
Right. For the clarification of our audience, RMK means in English, it's actually cigarettes and tobacco and liquor. And therefore, these are sensitive cargoes which are restricted by the government. So there are some introduction of permits before a company can handle those goods within the free zone. Many countries do that because of the sensitivity and sensitive nature of the cargo itself. So we have worked with customs over the years and the Ministry of Finance to try and create a more friendly environment without actually putting in too many restrictions, but some basic ones have to be put in place. And we continue to work on this with the government. So the list that I mentioned just now, 74, we have actually narrowed it down to try to exclude about 54 items out of the 74. So if we are successful, can you imagine that another 54 items can be handled freely within the free zone? And unfortunately, I'm sorry to say, cigarettes, liquor, and tobacco is not one of them. So they will still be highly regulated. And we hope that the other 54 items will come through quickly, because it's still with the agencies for their final consideration. So in short, it's just about the nature of the cargo, the highly sensitive nature of the cargo, which is very, very highly taxed here in Malaysia. And therefore, any leakages is a big concern for the government, not just for the loss of revenue, but also for the integrity of the free zone itself. Thank you, Mark.
Okay, thank you, Captain. So in the interest of time, I'll move on and I try to divide and conquer. So maybe for Puan, a question for you. There's a question that came in and about offshoring. And do we see Malaysia in the long term to leverage and to become the regional hub for a lot of ship from China? So how does Malaysia capture that? Hello, Puan. You are on mute.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, very faint.
Actually, our export to China is China is one of our major trading partners. So definitely, our port is receiving a lot of containers from China, and also we also have a good relationship with export to China. And I'm sure that with the strengths that we have currently, we can become an regional hub for Asia and increase our export through our ports.
Okay, thanks, Puan. You keep waving the Malaysian flag then.
Yeah.
So,
I
yeah.
think the Port Klang Authority also works very hard to ensure that most Malaysian companies can use Port Klang as our main ports when they do an export and import business.
Yeah. Okay, Captain Subra, you must give Puan a free badge next time, Port Klang Authority. Yeah, so thank you. And a question for Luciano, a question that came in was, can Eurochem assist European ports to search for cooperation opportunities with Malaysian ports? So maybe a question for you, Luciano, please.
Certainly we can do that, and I guess also we can do it with Matrade. This is an interesting project. No, there's an involvement on both sides, but as I mentioned before, we are in a privileged position having all the bilateral members, basically the chambers and the diplomatic bodies that are part of the European delegation in Malaysia. They're all keen. There is strong support for any initiative in this sector. So we don't have currently an engagement. We have a committee that is involving our members that are active in this space, and is certainly the right platform to explore any opportunity like this.
Okay, thank you, Luciano. So a question for Vijaya, and since your Westport is very much into
Dr.
digitalization.
Ma, can I respond to that questions?
Yeah, sure.
Questions on how we can assist foreign companies, foreign ports to work together with Malaysian ports here. So for those who ask these kind of questions, they can go to contact our trade commissioners in their cities. We have 46 officers abroad, which they can help you and give advice on how Matrix can assist you in terms of doing a collaboration between ports, between nation ports and your country's ports.
Excellent. If there's one thing positive that came up from this session, this conference session, hopefully that'll be something to boost the cooperation between European and Malaysian ports. So, yes. Yeah. So thank you, Puan, and thank you, Luciano. So a question for Vijaya, please. Since your port is really moving ahead in digitalization, a question is, does the government provide any programs for digitization of ports or infrastructure?
Programs in terms of
financial, do it, Wang.
Okay. As of now, it's more of our own initiatives in terms of looking at the expansion of the port, digitalization and all that. But we do work closely with relevant agencies who's also spearheading this type of initiative like MDEC. So MDEC is now trying to provide a link between cargoes moving from port to airport, airport to port. So they're also trying to find a way how we can simplify this, automate this, digitalize this. So that's some of the things, initiative we are working together with other agencies. But for our port specifically, we are working closely with Port Authority because one of the things that we're trying to create a better community system. So as I shared earlier in my presentation as well, we are presently linked with all the key government agencies, port authorities, clients and all that. So this is now more like Port Klang initiative or specific Westport initiative. As of now, we are financing it on our own over here. But also we are working with other parties, like there's one party who's trying to make, to create better service to be rendered to the hauliers like Cargo Move, where tapping on that technology, the ports will be able to know the arrival of trucks physically within certain kilometer radius of the port. So those are third-party vendors, which is blessed by the authority. We are working together, but more of it like this is more like it's Port Klang or Westport's initiative as of now. But also third-party vendors, like I said earlier, Cargo Move coming in and being blessed by the Port Authority and the community, where we are tapping on to be able to link all the parties together. So I hope I answered your question, Mark, over there.
Sure. Thank you very much, Vijaya. So basically, the person's asking the question has to finance his or her by his own do it and Wang then for the time being. Yeah. So, and in the interest of time, final question then to Jonathan. And the question is, can the UN body take leads on interoperability of PCS, I assume port container systems and the likes, etc.? So what are your views, Jonathan? And since you're into trade wars and everything, you like to talk about trade wars. So any views or comments, please, Jonathan?
Yeah, I've written a reply on that one. I'm living in one of the purest free ports in the world, like yourself, Mark. I'm not so keen on trade wars. No, it would be good if somebody like the UN or global body could take the lead in standardizing. But as you probably know, whether if we're looking at the rail sector or the trade sector, there's a desire by some of the big countries to set standards. So whether it be China, US, or Europe, of course, there's a desire to be able to set or lead those standards. I suppose on the upside, the advantage in digital technologies should give some flexibility in providing interoperability, even if we've got a sort of spaghetti soup of standards. But it would be great if someone could take the lead. But then in the port community, unlike aviation, we can't even standardize the three-letter codes for ports. So we have some way to go.
Yeah. Okay, Jonathan, thank you. Well, thank you, Captain. First of all, I'd like to give a round of applause to Captain Subra, Juan, Yuslina, and Luciano, Jonathan, Vijaya, and thank you for Port Klang Authority for sponsoring this event. I think a lot to learn, and thank you, Rosita, for the opportunity for all of us, including myself, to be part of this. So Rosita, would you like to have a final closing remarks before I retire and have my dump?
Yes. Yes, all right. Thank you, Mark. I would like to thank you personally, Dr. Mark Yong, for your time to spend today moderating this webinar session. Thank you very much, Mark. Once again, we would like to thank Port Klang Authority for sponsoring this webinar. Captain Subra, thank you very much indeed to you and your team. I would like to take this opportunity as well to thank our panelists for their time in preparing this insightful presentation for this webinar. Thank you very much, panelists. The presentation given today and the recording for this webinar will be available tomorrow for all registered attendees at our website, transportevents.com, www.transportevents.com. Thank you for all our viewers and for your attendance. We hope this webinar has been valuable and informative and help you to develop new business from what you have learned here today. May I ask everyone to follow us at Transport Event LinkedIn and visit our website www.transportevents.com for our latest information on our market leading annual events and webinars. May I also invite you to email me if you would like to have your own company's full color logo and details exclusively branded before, during, and after our next webinar. You may contact me directly at rosita@transportevents.com for further assistance. That's ROSITA@transportevents.com. All right, that's all for my announcement for today. Thank you very much, everyone, and goodbye for now. I see you on our next webinar. Thank you.